And now on BBC One, our Sunday afternoon sporting action moves to Silverstone for motor racing.
A very good afternoon from Silverstone and the opening round of the 1982 European Formula 2 Championship, the top rung of the ladder to Grand Prix racing. A new season, new cars, new teams, and 32 top drivers from 11 countries. Kenny Atchison from Northern Ireland, now recovered from that bad accident last year, and Jonathan Palmer, the Sussex doctor. They drive Ralt Honda, which won this race and the championship last year. The other Honda-powered team, Thierry Boutsen from Belgium and the very fast, very brave Stefan Johansson from Sweden with the brand new Spirit, making their debut here today. The other fast Belgian, Thierry Tassin, second to Palmer in Formula 3 last year, and Carlo Rossi from Milan. They drive the Tomans with the all-British Hart engine. From Venezuela, world motorcycle champion Johnny Cecotto, and from Munich, Christian Danner with the Works March BMWs. And last year's winner, Mike Thackwell, the 20-year-old New Zealander who until Wednesday had no drive for this race, but has talked his way into a new March BMW run by the Swiss Markus Hotz. In practice yesterday on a treacherously wet track, this man, Stefan Johansson, was absolutely flying, and he slithered between the puddles to record a best lap 3.2 seconds faster than anyone else, and averaging over 130 miles an hour. Now, this is a great fillip for the new team, Team Spirit, because it was only launched by John Wickham and Gordon Coppock at the end of last year, and there they are on pole position for their very first race. And a tyre change going on now because the weather is still very, very insecure, but it looks as though they're going on to full wet tyres of dry track, but very, very threatening clouds. A beautiful looking car, just like a baby McLaren Formula 1 car. And of course, that's no coincidence, because Gordon Coppock designed the Formula 1 McLarens, which took James Hunt and Emerson Fittipaldi to World Championship titles in the 1970s. No doubt Stefan Johansson has similar ambitions. Alongside Johansson, Johnny Cecotto in the March BMW filling the first row. Row 2 is Rossi in the Toman Hart and Jelinski in the Mara BMW. That's a surprise. He went very well in the wet. Row 3 is Boutsen in the other Spirit Honda and his fellow Belgian Thierry Tassin in the Toman Hart. And row 4, Corrado Fabi in another March BMW. And Roberto Del Castello from Italy in the Toman BMW. And it's a wet race. The light is green. Everybody on wet tyres. And a superb start up from Rossi. We've got Jonathan Palmer left on the grid, but Rossi made a marvellous start, but it's Stefan Johansson who's taken the lead as they nose into Cobb's Corner for the first time. And masses of spray. You can see the flashing lights from the Silverstone course car, but Jonathan Palmer is left on the grid. That's very bad. It's Kenny Atchison who's left on the grid. I beg your pardon. There he is. Kenny Atchison is left on the grid. But in the lead, it's Stefan Johansson. Johansson comfortably there in the lead, and it looks like Rossi in second place, and already somebody has lost a nose cone as they go through. It looked like Philippe Streiff, the Frenchman in the AGS, who has lost his nose cone in the bumping and boring. It's left forlornly by the side of the road, but Stefan Johansson from pole position is in the lead. In the background, we've got a problem for someone, but the rest of the field streaming through as they go down into Stowe for the first time. This is lap 1, and already now the leader 33, which is Stefan Johansson, in the lead, and we've got Rossi coming up through 47 laps of this race. You can see the plumes of spray as this enormous 32-car field, it is now 32 because Kenny Atchison has been pushed away, so he's in the race. But a huge 32-car field. There you see the red Marlborough colours of the second of the Spirits working its way through, but this is the first of the Spirits through the chicane for the first of 47 laps. And as we look down the lap chart then, the order, the leader of course course, Stefan Johansson in the Spirit. Second is Carlo Rossi in the Toman. Third is Frank Jelinski, a very fine run on his first Formula 2 race in the Mara. Fourth now is Thierry Tassin in the other Toman. So Toman's second and fourth. In fifth place, Johnny Cecotto, despite his front row grid position, and in sixth place now, sixth place is Stefan Beloff. So now second lap, and Stefan Johansson, the young Swede who dominated practice in these very difficult conditions, now moving comfortably ahead of the second place car, Carlo Rossi. Rossi in the Toman Hart, that's the dark blue car with the white nose, and a battle now for third place, because we've got moving up the other Toman of Thierry Tassin moving up both of those cars using the British Hart engine. This is lap 2, and away into Club Corner. There is Rossi. There now is Tassin up into third place. So we have the Tolmans second and third using the Brian Hart engine, but no doubt at all about the leader with the 350 horsepower V6 Honda engine. Stefan Johansson away in the lead. The two Tolmans second and third, and in fourth place it is still Frank Jelinski. Here is Johansson in the chicane. There are the two Tolmans. Here is Jelinski, and Jelinski now under pressure from the second Spirit, which is Thierry Boutsen. Johnny Cecotto is next up. Here are the two Tolmans in second and third places. Now that is pressure for Jelinski from Thierry Boutsen, and you can see how wet it is. Very, very slippery indeed. All of these cars on wet weather tyres, apart from one very brave man, Bo Martinson, further down. But this is the battle for fourth place now. The battle for fourth. And Frank Jelinski in his first Formula 2 race, twice German Formula 3 champion, and pushing him very hard, far more experienced Thierry Boutsen, who went extremely well last year in Formula 2, and now with the Spirit from the new John Wickham team, and lots of Honda power, but he doesn't, he has a little look at the inside there, but decides to fall back. It's a long race, it's 47 laps, and this is only lap 3. The two Tolmans go through, still Jelinski is fourth, and surely soon now Thierry Boutsen must make his move. And it's raining quite hard now, and a lot of oil and rubber on the track from earlier races in a very crowded day here at Silverstone. Over the brows they come down into the chicane for the third time, and Boutsen now goes through. There are the Tolmans. There is Boutsen now into fourth place. Jelinski is fifth. It's Cecotto who is sixth. Then we have Stefan Beloff in the Mara. And Corrado Fabi is in there as well in the dark red Works March. But nevertheless, Jelinski in the white car, number 25, giving a very, very good account of himself in the Bertram Schaefer Mara. BMW engine from Germany in the white car. A Honda engine in the red car. Those are the two Hart-powered, the two dark blue cars, the two Hart-coloured powered Tolmans. There are the Tolmans. They're the second of the red cars. So that's the leader, Johansson. Those are the two Tolmans, and already a 3-second lead for Johansson. Rossi and Tassin, 9 and 10 in the two dark blue Tolmans. There they are in second and third places. Johansson's teammate Thierry Boutsen now in fourth place. But you can see this lead, 3 seconds already, as they're only on their fourth lap. A magnificent drive already for Johansson. So Tiff, so far we've now got two teams holding them, and there's a moment there for Rossi. Rossi got it all wrong coming out of club, and that's allowed Tassin to go to second place. His teammate Rossi now demoted to third place. With me, alas, no Barry Gill, who has flew. Instead, we have Tiffany Dell, a man with a lot of Formula 2 racing experience. Tiff, we've got two teams dominating the first 4 places. Now, the Spirits are first and fourth. What are the tactics going to be to help Boutsen pass those two Tolmans?
Well, I don't think really Stefan can do much to sort of help Boutsen at the moment. He's out on his own trying to pull away. But Tassin was lucky then that Rossi made a small mistake, because it's enabled Tassin to concentrate himself now on merely catching Johansson, and hopefully he'll leave Rossi to hold off Boutsen and maybe hold Boutsen's progress back.
Meanwhile, we gather that after 7 laps, Jonathan Palmer, who started in 24th place on the grid after all sorts of problems yesterday, including an accident, which meant that Jonathan had to qualify in a spare car, he's already worked his way up by halfway through lap 7 to 10th place from 24th on the grid. And in the pits we have Christian Danner. That's Danner with one of the 3 Works March BMWs. Danner already in the pits. And Tiff, what about the race so far?
Well, one thing just about Danner there, Simon, I saw earlier he had a bent front nose wing from the early laps, and I think he's gone in to have a new nose, but also I think he was putting on new tyres, so maybe as he had to pit anyway for a nose, he's changed for tyres.
And we've got a lot, Tassin closing up a lot. I think that Johansson may be trying to preserve his tyres a little bit, Tiff, because presumably both of them on the same rubber. Now, is Johansson going to drive just as hard as he has to hold the lead and no harder? Is he trying to preserve his tyres?
Well, I think so, yes. He's going to have to go as slow as he can. I mean, the object of the race is to win the race at the slowest possible speed. You see him there getting into the wet part of the track in order to keep the tyres cool. And he's just going to have to really pace himself and keep Tassin behind.
Down Hanger Straight and into Stowe Corner. And Tassin now just a handful of lengths behind Stefan Johansson. Johansson in 33, Tassin in 10. A Swede and a Belgian. And if you look very, very closely in the close-up shots at the surface of the rear of Johansson's tyres, you may be able to see little slivers of rubber starting to come off the top of the tread. Very, very soft rubber used to give the maximum amount of grip in the wet weather conditions, but it's now stopped raining, the track is starting to get a little drier, and this could spell a problem for the leader, Johansson.
Yes, if we watch now this camera shot as he comes up to Cox, being challenged by Tassin.
And Tassin's taken the lead, a little bit of a mistake there, a little bit of a mistake for Johansson. He got the car slightly on the grass as they came out, and Thierry Boutsen is in the pits in the other Spirit. It's been a bad lap for Spirit, but the new leader in his first Formula 2 race from Belgium, Thierry Tassin, leads his first ever Formula 2 race in the Toman with Hart engine. And Stefan Johansson, who dominated practice, who started from pole position, now demoted, somewhat to his surprise, I think, to second place. Now Tassin is driving through the wet as he laps that car, trying to keep his tyres cool, plumes of water coming up from the tyres in the dark blue Toman. And we've got a caller in the pits. It's Stefan Johansson who's coming into the pits for a tyre change. Obviously the problems with his tyres have proved too much for him. Stefan Johansson has come storming into the pits at enormous speed. There he is, and scatters people. You see they've got the tyres absolutely ready. Now, are they going to put on wet weather tyres, or are they going to try a completely different solution? The tyres steaming are waved away. We've got the stopwatch, and we think that he's going on to hand-cut slicks. So this is a compromise, because he started on the wet weather tyres. These are the dry tyres, normally completely smooth and treadless, but they've had a groove or a series of grooves cut in them by hand to try to give the best of both worlds on a track that is partly wet and partly dry. And we're looking now for the pit stop. He's out, and that was a very, very fast. And we've got a great battle now for third and fourth place, because as Johansson is in the pits, still Jelinski is holding this fourth place, but now he's under a lot of pressure. Of course, it's third place now because Johansson has stopped, and Jelinski now going very, very well. Also his first Formula 2 race, and there he is. Jelinski still holding off the attentions of Stefan Veloff in the Black Mora. We've had a shunt there. That, alas, was Stefan Johansson. After his pit stop, he spun. He's taken with him Pascal Fabre. He was in 13th place after that pit stop, and it's all gone very, very wrong. The car is tangled in the catch fencing. Pascal Fabre, the Frenchman in the AGS, was the man he took with him. He was on brand new tyres, and he was trying very hard, but Johansson is trying to drive away. He's trying to get disentangled from the fences around his back tyre, but never say die for Stefan Johansson. There you see his new hand-grooved tyres, and particularly he wants to get out of there because even if he can't carry on motor racing, his car is in a very, very vulnerable place indeed. These are the leading Tomans. And you see a glance, and a bit of an effort there by number 9, Rossi, the Italian. Rossi having a little look at the outside as they go down into Cops. But still, the Belgian in number 10, Thierry Tassin, has the lead. Rossi fights back.
Yes, Simon, Tassin very impressive here. He's driving much more smoothly than Rossi, and even though he may well lose the lead at the moment, I think Rossi's going to wear his tyres out the way he's driving.
Well, Rossi has taken the lead indeed at Beckett's, so Rossi perhaps driving more with his heart than his head, but it's got him back into the lead on lap 20. That's Tassin now in second place, but there's the new leader, Rossi, the new leader. Carlo Rossi, 26 years old from Milan, his third year in Formula 2. Thierry Tassin in second place in his first ever Formula 2 race. Both cars, Toman parts. Slipstreaming down that long straight. Tassin tries the inside under braking for Stowe. And chops back behind. Then the short straight from Stowe down to Club. Jelinski fights back too. Jelinski using every inch of the road. Once again, there are back markers for them to lap. And Jelinski right up to Tassin. The back marker gets the blue flag. He keeps well out of the way as they go up the hill and through the left-hander of Abbey. Rossi still hanging on to this lead by the skin of his teeth. Tassin trying everything he knows to pass his teammate, and Jelinski is having a go on the outside. No, it didn't do him any good. Jelinski having a little look at the outside, but discretion was the better part of valor, because that line would have taken him off the dry and onto the wet. And presumably, Tiff, what you have to do is to try in corners and to keep absolutely on the dry line.
Well, yes, especially also once the race has been about 30 laps old as it is, not only is it wetter off the line, but there tends to be little bits of water and grease and rubber that's come off these wet tyres.
And we've got them all pounding down into Beckett's now. And once again, Jelinski has a look at the inside, and Jelinski goes alongside, and they spin. And Jelinski just nudged Tassin then, and that has allowed Rossi to get away. We don't know if either of those cars are damaged. But that really changed the whole picture, because Rossi, looking in his mirrors now, he can't understand where they've all gone. And the car that is now coming up to split them is Christian Danner, number 5. He has made a pit stop, he's a lap behind. But let's have a look at that spin again.
Well, yes, here Jelinski did a rather daring manoeuvre, dived down the inside, and it rather left his brake late. He slid wide there, hit Tassin's rear wheel, punted Tassin sidely, and then the most gentlemanly piece of driving I've ever seen, he actually pushed Tassin straight again.
This is lap 29, and there is the leader, the car in front of him, which is just... Oh, and the leader spins! Rossi is off into the grass, and that must have lost Rossi the lead. It's lost him second place, because you just saw Jelinski go by, and that has thrown away the lead for Rossi.
Well, that was very, very sad for Rossi there. Although he's been trying very hard, what's happened here, he's hard on the power now, coming out of the corner, following Danner, who just overtaken him. Danner suddenly slowed, must have had an electrical problem or something, and Rossi had to turn the wheel sharply to avoid just running into the back of Danner. It was unexpected happening and very bad luck.
So once again, this race has changed. There he is, a little muddier, but very much back on the circuit. And so what is now happening at the front of the race, there is Tassin, number 10, Thierry Tassin, coming down into the chicane. So his lead has been handed back to him after he had a little sideways moment. There he is, the second place man, Jelinski, in number 25. Third is now Stefan Beloff. And we've got some problems there. That indeed is Danner, is it not? And so, as Tiff said, he suddenly had a problem at exactly the wrong moment. There is Christian Danner, number 5. Jelinski in second place, closes a little bit under braking, perhaps on Tassin, and perhaps pulls away slightly from Beloff, the black car, number 7. Beloff third in the German Formula 3 Championship last year. That's the championship that Jelinski won. So both Jelinski and Beloff very, very used to driving so close to one another, but they've never done it before with 330 horsepower under their right foot. Tassin leads the trio down into Beckett's. And a strange wide line there for Jelinski. What about that, Tiff? Was Jelinski having a problem there?
Well, I think, Simon, you see in that shot there now, you see how his nose fins tilted backwards, and this would mean that the car doesn't turn into corners very well. And we saw then at Beckett's that he'd slid wide because the car wouldn't turn in, and he's having a turning in problem.
And that is exactly what Beloff needs. Beloff needs a little bit of help because the power of Jelinski seems to have a very, very strong engine. Both cars, of course, have BMW engines, Formula 2 engines, tuned by Heidi Mader, and Beloff just doesn't seem quite to be able to get up contention in the straights, but in the corners, that's when he's getting close, and it's the stiction at the front. It's understeer at the front because those cocked back front wings mean that the front of that car doesn't grip as well as it should as they come down into the chicane. And now Beloff goes across the curve and across the curve again, but he's done it. A new second place man. Beloff is second. And Jelinski fights back. And they're side by side as they go down the start-finish straight and into Copse. And once again, the white car slides wide. Jelinski slides wide.
Well, yes, Beloff took the inside line there. He left his braking too late on the greasy. He had to bounce all over the curbs to get through, and because he'd bounced over the coves, he meant he was slow coming out of the chicane, which meant that Jelinski was able to come back past on the straight. It was a classic case of going in on the wrong line to overtake and then being overtaken again on the way out because you made a mess of it.
Still the leader, Thierry Tassin. Still in second place, Frank Jelinski. And Beloff is trying to change that situation. Beloff on the inside once more as they go into Copse. And again, Jelinski keeps his head, keeps his place. A very, very steady and sensible drive there. And Bertram Schaefer, who... but once again, the black car, the Mara, is alongside on the inside as they go into Beckett's. And this time, Beloff has done it. Now, can he stay there? Beloff moves across to the left of the road, but that's the right place to be for the left-hander that follows. And on down the Hanger Straight, and immediately Jelinski falls back a little bit, but will this strong engine pull him back close into the slipstream? It does, and he has a look at the outside. Beloff in second place, Jelinski in third place.
Well, yes, Beloff here, he took the long way around the outside. I think Jelinski made a slight mistake coming out of Copse, so he was a bit slower. And really, Beloff, that was a nice, easily taken, overtaking manoeuvre.
And indeed, there's a lot of water on the track now. It's raining quite hard, umbrellas all the way around the circuit of the spectator enclosures, and Jelinski, that is Jelinski, coming in very, very slowly into the pits. That is so very sad for a man who has covered himself with glory in his first Formula 2 race, and this is the battle for the lead, because Tassin now, under very great pressure. Tassin is under tremendous pressure from Stefan Beloff. So while all the well-known names have stopped or have disappeared, we have a great battle from a man who shone so much in Formula 3 last year. There he is, Thierry Tassin from Belgium, and Stefan Beloff, who is perhaps less well-known, a lot of Formula 3 experience in his native Germany, but not very much international experience, but he is fighting back. Ray Mallock in front of them, a long way down in his converted Formula Atlantic car. He's going to keep well out of the way of the battle. We hope as the battle comes up, this is the battle for the lead, coming inside Ray Mallock, and Mallock splits them. Tassin goes through, Mallock moves across, but now Beloff is alongside and through, and the battle comes down into the chicane for the 44th time. 3 laps to go after this. Tassin now must not make a mistake. Just a length between them through the chicane. Tassin, Beloff taking the wider line. Tassin once again moving across the road to cool his tyres on the water, although it is pretty wet right the way across the road now. Copse corner, and a big moment there for Tassin. The car almost got away from him. That little mistake would have slowed his approach down through Maggots, and that is the sort of advantage that Beloff is looking for. Let's watch them as they come down into Beckett's. Tassin keeps the inside line. Beloff having a look at the other side because the next corner is a left-hander, but he's not quite close enough now. Now they start on the long trek down the Hanger Straight, the longest straight of the circuit, and there you can see exactly what the gap is at 160 miles an hour as they go down the fastest part of the circuit before the noses dip, the cars turn in, and the front wing of Beloff's car looking slightly crooked there as they go away, and that probably can't be helping him, but he's still pushing very, very hard of Tassin. They've already got 40, and it's all gone wrong for Tassin. Suddenly, Beloff found an extra bit of power and shot by, so that has lost Tassin the lead. That has put Stefan Beloff into the lead, and Beloff is pulling away. It looks like a problem for Tassin, and Stefan Beloff, the new leader, coming up now to lap Jonathan Palmer, it is, in the white and blue car in front of him. Stefan Beloff, the new leader. Palmer keeps politely out of the way, but splits the two of them once more. So that's Beloff, that's Palmer about to be passed. He's a lap behind. Also there, 32, is Thierry Boutsen. He's a lap behind those two Honda cars, having a bad time. And there is Beloff, the new leader, the Michelin-shod Mara of Stefan Beloff. And how did Tassin lose the lead there?
Well, I think it was a pressure mistake. I think Tassin missed a gear. That is just about where you change gear. It almost caught Beloff by surprise himself. I'm pretty sure he would have missed a gear then, because suddenly Beloff was through and into the lead.
And as he comes through the chicane for the penultimate time, he's starting his last lap. This is the last lap, and a very big gap. Tassin has obviously got problems. Perhaps he has, in fact, lost a gear somewhere, and we think, in fact, his engine is not sounding very good. Tassin is still going. There you see number 10, but something is wrong with his car, because Ray Mallock has just unlapped himself in a much slower car. So we've got the leader, meanwhile, out. There he is, number 7, through Beckett's for the last time, and on through the left-hander, out of Beckett's. This is Chapel Curve, up into 4th gear, up into 5th gear, and now pounding down this long straight, his mud-stained, rain-stained car, getting up to 160, 165 miles an hour, his head bobbling in the cockpit as he hits the brakes and turns the car into Stowe Corner. Now, the short straight with the Stowe Corner grandstand behind him, down to club, briefly into 5th gear, and then dabbing the brakes for these slippery conditions, down into 4th, turn the car into club corner, and now it's the long run home, uphill through Abbey Curve, which even in these very wet, slippery conditions is flat out in top, turning the car across to the left of the road, and he's coming all the way down under the bridge. This is Stefan Beloff on his final lap into the chicane. Don't make a mistake now, and you're going to win the first Formula 2 race you've ever run. A little mistake over the curb, but that's not going to worry him. And Stefan Beloff has the checkered flag waiting for him, and the victorious hand comes up, the right hand comes up, and there is Beloff. Beloff has won the opening Formula 2 race here at Silverstone of the year, and we look across now, and it's going to be very, very close for second place. And it's Tassin who has had so much problems. Tassin does take second place, but we have a 3-car battle there for second, because Tassin, his ailing car, took second place by the narrowest of margins from a superb late challenge from the Japanese Satoru Nakajima, and 4th place going to Beppe Gabbiani. Tim, what do you think of that race?
Well, I think that must be the first time anyone's ever won their first Formula 2 race. I think this boy must be feeling very, very, very happy. I'd have a little tear in my eye if I was him driving around, and it's a fantastic Formula 2 debut.
So, marvellous debut for Stefan Beloff. He is the winner. Looking down the order then, the winner, Stefan Beloff of Germany in the Mara BMW. In second place, Thierry Tassin of Belgium in the Tolman Hart. Third, Satoru Nakajima of Japan in the March Honda. Fourth, Beppe Gabbiani of Italy in his Mara BMW. Fifth, Roberto Del Castello in a Tolman BMW. And sixth, Alessandro Nannini in the Minardi. But the winner, Stefan Beloff of Germany, a new Formula 2 name to salute.